London Ambulance Service. Can I help you?
Nine months ago, London's ambulance service was the worst in the country. Since then, they have improved their performance dramatically. The new computerized control room speeded up the gathering of information needed to send ambulances to emergencies. Management introduced standby. Here, ambulances are deployed on London streets to wait closer to where they believe emergencies are most likely to happen. But the unions say it's unsafe at night, and crews have refused to stand by after 10.
They're telling you to stand by at 3 o'clock in the morning out in the cold.
That is wrong, and they shouldn't do it, and the crew shouldn't go. And we ran the message home to them, that if they don't stop it, we'll stop it. The crews are at breaking point. You know, what they're telling me is enough is enough. It is industrial action, it will be deemed as industrial action, and it may be against the sort of contract you're on now.
Top managers must decide what to do.
And I know, that there will be an escalation.
I know it comes bumpy, I'm prepared for the bumps, but I'm not prepared to back off because frankly I don't believe this board, these directives will survive. Because our Lords and Masters, our side will say, you should have done it. Move on.
The standby policy that is causing the unrest was developed by outside consultants ORH. Sticking to the plan could lead to serious confrontation with the staff. Now the Executive Board of Directors, the Trust's top decision-makers, meet to consider their position.
I think the thing that has historically that bears the most enormous weight for me is the fact that by the admissions of everybody, the usage of standby points has been probably a third, a quarter of what ORH envisaged.
Yeah.
Their original concept.
Yeah.
Which means that we've got from 70 to almost 90 on 14 minutes.
On a third.
And from 15 to 30 on 8-minute responses. It must be due to Ian's original concept, his original ORH has a major fault in it, that the major saving comes in the correlation between activation times and crew availability.
Yeah.
Not where they are, but that they're available. We must have had it from that. Whatever argument you come from.
Manning level,
yeah,
the manning and the mobilisation.
Manning against an activation
Yeah.
supposedly includes mobilisation, and that has hiked us up to 90.
Yeah.
Our wildest dreams, we wouldn't get beyond 95, even if unless we had crews sitting round
like
waiting for calls like the fire brigade.
Yeah.
Even thinking about standby points, I mean, we do have to think about, you know, they have got to have somewhere where they can go to the laboratory, they've got to have somewhere they have to have a coffee. It requires all kinds of hygiene things we're going to have them in the cabs.
Implications of moving to standby points have really been thought through. Just the crew change issue.
Quite.
Could
Are we going to have vans, you know, which load up with blankets and everything else, and who does this, especially the ambulance? But that doesn't, in a sense, I would have said, in a way, it is very helpful that we've got that extreme position. Because we have something that may make it easier to get what it is that we want, which will actually make their lives better, while actually making it possible.
Having decided not to press standby to the point of confrontation with the staff,
Because David will resist this vehemently, for no other reason than it is not what it says in ORH, because he has done so for 2 years.
Tell me exactly how you would like me to play this. I'll report back on discussions that I've had to make. I mean, let's face it. What we're doing is stage managing,
from what we've already asked for.
Yes.
Well, I mean, our thinking has evolved quite a lot, I think, from brewing thoughts to spoken thoughts in the last week. And I'm not sure we're likely to achieve a significant shift further.
This is to force the management to review the use of standby overnight time. Okay. And if they won't change it, we will. Okay. Beyond this,
A week later, the Operational Management Board resumed their adjourned meeting at an away day out of the office.
I think you need to be aware I'm taking disciplinary action against crews from Fulham, Shropshire at Barnet, and we've got one guy putting one of discipline which will probably end in a final written. We got him on tape saying this was not to a standby point, but this was in the early hours of the morning following an explosion. He was asked to go to standby. The argument's unbelievable, and he says, we've got to get on tape, you tell me to do things, I will consider those things I wish to do. Now, if I'd heard about that at the time, he wouldn't be with us today, but I didn't hear about it at the time. But so we're having to address some of these issues. I've told Jim O'Leary and Marion Way.
Can I just read I got a letter on the 22nd of April from an ambulance crew at Bloomsbury. And I'll not read the whole letter because it's long. But I think this is what's made me focus in terms of we need to pay more attention to the staff and how we actually cater for them. I mean, the first thing is it's sad that they had a memo from me about active standby because that shows I'm a manager with little awareness of the strains and tiredness that reflects in ambulance crews and the need for reflection time, recreation and support from colleagues. And it goes on to say that if optimum performance was the criteria for success, then for crews to have as much free time as possible within the shift between calls would be a priority. To recover from stressful situations that they may have just walked in on, to discuss ways of treating with senior colleagues after a complicated removal, to chat and joke with other crews and forget the job for a while and wind down, and to swap stories, to have a cup of tea, put their feet up and watch a bit of TV and be prepared then for the next bout of stress when they turn out. And I've got to say, that letter, when you read it, is a well-written letter. And it's not by a Bolshie member of staff. But there's a lot of concern now that we are, I mean, Owen made the point very early on this morning, we are actually putting so much pressure on managers and staff. And they are performing if you actually looked and moved the goalposts to where they were when ORH put the initial report in. And I don't think we're giving them the support that we should be. And I think if we did, we'd probably get a lot more back from them.
Many of us have said over the last 2.5 years, this organisation, one thing that was glaring about it was that it had lost its emergency service culture. I think we've regained a lot of that ground, frankly, and I think if we're going to regain the rest, we really need to involve staff more and be sensible, because if you want to involve staff, do not, impose standards such as, say, the 3-ring situation. The fire brigade analogy is a very good one insofar as they have an emergency service culture, they've never lost it. And it is just a natural situation. It's where we've got to get to with our operational staff.
I have had conversations with ambulance on the phone who've written to, LAS News, and these guys are saying, well, yeah, we know about on-call, but no one's looking after us. It was a verbal conversation on the same lines as this. And, this is not just one member of staff. There's a lot of people out there that want to belong to a successful organisation, want to make it successful, but there's only so much they can contribute at that time. So can we just make sure we do the pacing right?
We can say we don't want our staff to live on street corners, we want them to live in ambulance stations, we want them to have stress counselling immediately available, all these things. If we get that wrong, I'll purchase a show car for you. And so we've got to get the balances right.
I think we're starting to become a dogmatic service, and if you want a candid opinion, I think you're sitting on a time bomb that John Wilby had. I think we've achieved an awful lot. I don't think we give ourselves credit for what we've achieved. I don't think people above us or around us give us credit for what we've achieved. But I do think that we get these ideas, we go for them, and we entrench ourselves that that's the target to be achieved. That's exactly what John Wilby did. And if you reflect in the report that came out after that, that was what happened. Didn't involve staff. I'm not talking about being soft-hearted to staff. I mean, I didn't have a reputation when I came to London of being soft-hearted in South Yorkshire. But I just don't think we listen to staff enough. I don't think we care a shit about staff, if you want to be perfectly truthful. and I just get a bit turned off. I mean, the numbers to me isn't important. I don't give a damn if I recruit every day of the week. It's the calibre of the recruit, it's the cost of recruiting, it's the cost of the training, and I'd rather have somebody stay with us for 20 years and share their picture of what they see the LAS being, rather than a new recruit. And I've got new recruits. I mean, out of 700 people in my division, I've got about 300 new recruits over the last 18 months. They haven't got a vision. They just want a job.
Whereas I hear what Don is saying, and I have a lot of sympathy for that. Well, I'm saying, if we don't also have very fast response times, we will not produce the real things we've got to produce. And I think that would become demotivating for some. So I'm not saying Don is wrong and I'm right, or I don't see it like that. I think we've just got to be so careful we get the balance right. But if we don't achieve the results, our purchases will not want.
And this copper reckoned to me that he'd been to the same address 32 times in one shift. And I find it hard to believe, but this guy calls out the ambulance service, the fire service, the police all the time. And last week we attended, and the police turned up as well. And he'll say to me something on the lines of, "Action? You haven't seen action, mate. I am action. I fought in Korea. I've got 6 medals," and so on. And how he killed like thousands of communists, and how he won the war for Britain. Excellent guy. Middle lane. Straight lane. Okay, Mr. Pitton, here we come. No, please, Martin. No. That's my job. Alright. Okay, what's the problem, Martin? I didn't tell you. Yeah. We're going inside, shall we?
Okay, come here. And literally, that's how you do it. I'm a very... What are the cameras for? Get the cameras away. Get the cameras away.
Do you want me to switch it off?
No.
Can we film?
Yeah. Would you like to come in?
Yeah.
No. What are you going to do with us?
Martin.
Is this going to TV with us?
Yeah.
Good.
Martin,
I'm so pleased. Pleased. It was the day hospital. And I suffered from acrophobia, so at no time for today. It's going back now, it's going back crumbs, all I've got of money. It's going back, 30 years ago. I know, and I'm at home, my family, my kids, I mean...
Martin, listen to me.
No.
I appreciate you called us, right, but...
I'll work.
I'm sure you made it. We're quite busy this evening.
I'm a director, I'll come out Friday or something.
So,
just listen. No. Yeah, this has got a great record. It's got on TV, book it, I'm supposed to speak out, right?
Martin, you're going chat show at this rate.
I love the camera. Right. I was bumming up this and down this, right? So I absconded from in the older shop. And I was out in Hong Kong, right? Hong Kong in the 50s. And the Chinese now...
Martin, listen.
No, shut up. No, you're right. Listen to me, because...
We're quite busy tonight. I appreciate you want someone to talk to.
Just shut up. I'm busy. I let it on live again. And literally...
Why don't we take to University College?
This man
someone talks up there. Because talking to us, I mean, all we can really provide is transport.
James Mossman, he's an ITV journalist. Wasn't he? ITV journalist. I'm going back now.
What that is his mate, Martin?
Oh, shut it up.
What can we do here for you? Anything we can do for you?
All I'm getting is abuse, aren't we?
From where?
All the services, everything.
Including us?
And I was, I was on the very first documentary in the Marble Days Hospital.
Martin, listen.
No, shut up. No, you listen to me. You just shut up.
The best way to help you is to take the casualties.
I rifle and bang it. Listen to this. Just fucking, excuse my language. Just listen to this. I was not bumped to landing World War II in the Nazis, right? I was made homeless, right?
Right.
Not right. No, shut up. Just fucking shut up. No, shut up.
Listen to me.
Shut up. Just shut up.
I've been here countless times before.
Now, I'm telling you a story. Listen,
every time I come here...
But, no, every time, nothing. I don't hear it. It's about time. It's about time.
But what am I going to do while you're telling me?
But,
how's it going to change your situation by telling me?
You are trying to preach the gospel to me. You're a young lad.
So why don't we just take you to the hospital? Should we take you to University College?
No way. Because we'll get up there. You
don't want to go to the hospital?
No, shut up.
You're a doctor called?
Yeah, I would like to come home.
And the GP will contact and visit, but we've got no time promised, over.
Excellent. I'll go and tell the gentleman the situation and I'll get back to you. Thanks for your help.
Roger, all of that, Red Base.
Okay, right. Martin's getting a doctor to visit. This will be a first.
I took the doctor just a pill.
Okay, it could be the doctor.
Maybe, I don't know.
The doctor's got to say, eh?
Maybe, I don't, I think they're getting
Fair enough.
Hello.
Yeah, I appreciate I've been here many a time before, but it's got to the point now where we're coming out, 3 or 4 times a shift now. So we just thought maybe...
When you've been through, put the phone back to me, please.
No, not our control. I'm prepared to do that, you see.
Yeah, please pull the phone back to me,
Bye.
please. No.
Right,
No.
She's gone now.
Pull the phone. That's out of order, no?
So she put the phone down on me.
That's quite out of order.
Martin, what she told me to do was, she's asked me to ask you, would you mind...
This is all going on camera, you know? It's got throughput.
Martin, listen, your doctor's asked me to ask you, would you mind popping around in the morning to see her? She's not prepared to come out this evening.
I spoke that. I can set a whole plastic chair, so an old plastic chair. I don't get no help. Insomuch, what happened? No, shut up.
I was about to suggest something to you, Martin.
No, shut
How about a suggestion?
Right, there's no kidding it.
If you can make it through the night, perhaps if you can see your doctor in the morning and avoid
I'll stop doing it. Because she said the same at 4 o'clock in the morning. She said I was a business conservative. So I'm in a kind of rat trap.
Right, there's nothing else I can do here, Martin. I've done what I can.
Yeah, I can't get help.
So we're going to leave you, but all I can say is if you get any problems, call us back.
That's what I told you. I can call you back, and then what they say, you're a British service.
Well, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, but this is what they say.
Well, Martin,
I'm going back taking up.
I'm sorry, there's nothing else I can really do.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
Vacate your premises. The guy needs help. The only people he talks to, I think, is us. Doctor doesn't want to know. Doctor told me he's a known psychiatric patient. It's not for us to say. It's what the doctor told me. He's a known psychiatric patient. I'll get on to his psychiatrist first thing in the morning. But if you can tell Martin to make it through the night and see him at the surgery tomorrow, I'll be more than happy. But I'm not coming out. He's a pest. He abuses the service. That is a doctor's service. And the doctor said to me that he also abuses your service, and your control shouldn't send you. But if someone phones for an ambulance, you've got to send. You can't pick and choose who can have an ambulance, regardless of what's wrong with them. And the gentleman needs help.
The Central Division ballot, or questionnaire as management call it, is to be counted at ambulance headquarters in Waterloo.
What we'll do is we will use this big table for the actual yes votes and put the no votes into here, please.
They won't fit, will they? Usual you've got bigger what?
Right.
71 yes, 1 no.
397 yes and 5 no. This is a better return of ballot than we've had in any pay ballot.
They're not likely to send anybody home over this, are they?
Well, we'll see, Mike.
But they are.
We have to
they're already processing disciplinaries, aren't they, against people? And I think if we should tell them from this meeting that if anybody's disciplined, then we'll stop doing standbys completely.
Yeah.
I don't think we would, as an individual station, would allow anyone to be sent home without stopping work. That would be it. We'd just walk out.
Okay, that's where, as I say, we've all got to be strong on this. Because we do have a good vote. The crews are looking at us to actually stop them. Standbys. Just to let you know, we've got a copy of the letter you sent to Phil. So yeah, we're aware of what you put in about the meeting. We actually had them. What we'd rather be actually doing, Andrew, is we'd rather be hearing you say that you're going to stop our crews putting themselves at risk of a night time.
Right.
And we're asking you once more, will you ask the crews not to go out after 10 o'clock?
No, I can't do that. What I said in the letter was that Don and his team have apparently come up with some alternative standby points which they regard as being safe.
Yeah, but in the letter, you're actually stating that you want them to go back to normal working.
As I said to Phil when I spoke to him, I have to say that.
However, with courtesy, we'll give you that.
Right.
We've just rang up the stage anyway. We've told him.
Right.
And that's the state of play.
Why has it come down to 8 o'clock in the morning? I thought it was 6 that we started standby. We've been running standby from 6 in the morning. The whole base
This is the state of play now. The whole of the crews in the actual central won't be going out. They're very angry that their own management doesn't seem fit to actually help them.
Well,
so we're making the decision.
The two areas that you raised were Streatham and Brixton.
We
and
didn't.
At the meeting and in the letter.
They raised it. We raised all of the actual stations.
Where's the evidence, though? There isn't any. Is there?
Speak to any of our actual crews, Andrew. Speak to any of your crews. They're your crews. They will tell you. They are not safe. They are not safe after those times. They aren't being used after those times. There is no point for them being there.
Well, if there wasn't any point in them being there, we wouldn't put them
there.
There
isn't a point. It's going out in the dark for no reason except to park up on a
or second
corner.
road. We said you don't have to sit there. You can drove round.
Oh, well,
drove a
that
second.
could be very helpful.
As long as you're within 1 minute of the blue light time.
Yeah, well, he's out of it's unofficial industrial action because he's got no union backing for it at all. Little shit. Well, I said to him, you're just using safety issues as a means of getting over the fact you don't like being on standby. Oh, no. No, I said that to them. I said that to Boast. I said, where's the evidence? We have 150 crew stars assaulted every year. I said, yeah, but where's the evidence that standby is doing it? Are you telling me that all the standby points in central London are unsafe? Yes. I sat here for over an hour this morning and haven't done half this crossword.
All right, let's get on with it. Who have we contacted?
Funny, Don. Getting together tomorrow morning in the Minories. Serves a dual purpose. One, it keeps Rosemary away from it, and two, I won't be here to meet her as I'm supposed to be. And I have a crisis on. I think I would have called Helen back.
I think you should inform her.
Don has.
Don has?
Yeah, the leaderine.
Yeah.
I've been told, yeah.
Where
is she tomorrow? She's in Surrey or something, isn't she?
Yeah.
What's on there? Other than the fact it's over halfway home for her.
Have you left it with staff side?
I don't know. I've run after with staff side that I don't like what they're doing, but they're going to do it anyway.
Where's that document again? Has it been faxed?
It's been faxed over to Don, yeah. Dave Carrington's view was Phil Thompson doesn't sort it out, go to court and get an injunction for them to work normally. So I've agreed now. I've been on to Capsticks. They're issuing one at 4. That was a jolly good idea. Bring the whole service out, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Very subtle. Has Phil Thompson been contacted?
No.
Is he aware of the situation?
No, because I can't find my secretary. I'll be just about to. It's time for a cigarette.
Yeah.
I'm very stressed. Very stressed. It's pressure.
The results are a very positive result in favour. Okay? So this comes into actual action as of now. We don't go out, crews don't go out on standby sort of after 10 o'clock at night and until 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay? Don't refuse to go out on standby up to 10 o'clock, even if it's 1 minute, 2, still go out, get back on the RT at 10 o'clock and return in. Okay. So, you know, we all take sort of responsibility for it. Each crew has to take the responsibility and say no. Okay. I'm not going to be put at risk. Okay. That's it, that's fine.
That's the number we're working for.
Yeah.
Hello. Thank you. Hello, Phil. How are you? How was Bournemouth? Oh, you didn't go? Just a smidge. Do you see?
Well, have you seen the missive? It's a meeting of Central Division staff side in favour of action 397, 98%, against 5. Ballot return 76%. As a result, a complete ban on active standby between the hours of 10 at night and 8 in the morning. Immediate effect. Confident that all stations within the division are involved and all staff will be supported if they are threatened by CAC or any manager. Diary. Phil suggested a meeting which he and I had on something totally different on Tuesday morning. He ropes Eric in on Tuesday. It's bank holiday Monday, isn't it? How are you looking Tuesday morning? 10:30 would be fine. Yeah, that's great. We've, just for your ears, I've given control and instruction to keep asking the crews to go to standby and make a note where they don't. But we haven't stepped up the action, moral high ground and all that help.
It was a good meeting, wasn't it, Jeff?
Yes, I thought, and I think Northwest's involvement in it was very good.
I'll fill you in
Thank you
later. In your hands, then, Andrew.
Right, why don't you take a moment to read that. They've met with the Central Division stewards, cooked this lot up, which is quite a considerable change from where we started off, because the last meeting that Don and I had with them was along the lines of, we accept that there are problems with standby in Brixton High Street. We will investigate. And Don, and I actually wrote to Phil and said that operation managers would seek guidance from local police in Brixton and Streatham on appropriate safe standby points. We provide standby signs for the ambulances when they were on standby, so as people didn't come up and ask them what they were doing. That they would give us formal reports of any incidents involving crew safety on standby. And we'd look into marked bays and we would pursue a public awareness campaign longer term. And I wrote to Phil and said that whatever the outcome, I would wish for the matter to be kept in procedure and formally record that we would not countenance any escalation of staff refusal to operate standby points after 2200 hours.
I think my concern on this is, one, why do we put crews on standby? We put them on standby because we genuinely believe, and we believe there is some evidence, that this improves our response time, as a direct result of which we improve patient care, and fast response times for a small group of patients, particularly cardiac, may mean the difference between whether they live or die. So we're not doing something just because it would feel good or look good, or it is clearly the root of patient care and our ability to provide a good service resources we've got. So I think, speaking on behalf of the public, we should not bow. Well, what do you do in this situation? I think you could go to the High Court and get an injunction, all right, that would prevent them taking this industrial action until there's been a ballot and all the rest of it. But more importantly, I think to say to Phil Thompson, this is what we could do, we are prepared to do, you realise the implications of that from a trade union viewpoint, indeed a political viewpoint, and how undoubtedly government ministers, etc., will use that against the Labour Party. Do you really want us to go into this position? And the kind of discussion at that level about that approach may be enough for Phil. I think the trade unions have in law and morally the responsibility now to exert enormous pressure on their members to conform with the law, not to take industrial action, and to think about what they're doing in terms of the public. So that'd be my view. Maybe that's a preference.
I don't particularly think that this is about standby points. I think this is a challenge on a couple of fronts. First of all, I think he sees an opening that we're just going into trust status, and he's testing the temperature of the water to see which way we will react. More importantly, I think which way the non-executives will react. Yeah.
Let's just think of David's thought process, because I thought about this last night, and I think Phil, track record of being straight. Yeah. After the meeting that Don and I had, which he was at, the first one, I know because he came and saw me afterwards that he had said to Eric, if you want to do this, we do it properly, because otherwise the union is going to be dragged through the courts and law and that. And I'm sure that that is the line that he will preach again, mainly from a political point of view. Because Unison won't want to be the people who give Tory lifelines by having stupid industrial action. Yes. But for all Eric's apparent political allegiances, he will not easily take to that line, because this has become a personal little test around the LAS becoming a trust for him.
And his power base.
His power base. And inclination is to have the conversation that you just outlined with Phil before he meets Eric on Tuesday morning, just to say that this is one of the options that we obviously don't want to go for, because I would like you to sort it out. It's quite a powerful argument to put pressure on. I'll ring him back and give him this, but I was going to give him another dose on Tuesday morning, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, my point is...
What I don't want is for him to get that out of context with Eric, because it will be the red rag that Eric would want to say...
I actually think there's a little bit more to it as well. Eric, we had a situation about a fortnight ago, I think it was a fortnight today, where they had a station meeting at Camden, union meeting. Now, the station officer hadn't informed the operations manager that the meeting was taking place. Therefore, I wasn't aware of it. And it's 7:45, I think, in the morning. Control asked the vehicle to go out to standby because Canonbury, Dalston and Hackney were all being utilised. I've already said to Andrew that Eric had made a statement and insisted that it was put into the record that he'd actually stopped the vehicles from going out to standby, and that not even Don Page or Rosemary Day could have got those men to leave that station. So I said to Andrew that when we have Phil in, Phil needs to talk to Eric Roberts from the point of view that he's stepping outside of his remit. He is actually now becoming confrontational on issues, and I'm sorry for this because Eric has worked so well in the last 12 months, 2 years here, but this is a personal issue now, and I think he's actually pushing and pushing to see how far the executive and non-executive will go.
An option could be to take out the people that are stirring it up, because remove him from his duties, Eric, I mean. And that's quite radical, quite controversial. It's going to bring about a banner to flop for people to muster under. I wouldn't propose we do it, but it's an option.
The trick I was taught years ago was try desperately to load the responsibility back to them. And you do that by saying, if you do not bring your people back into line and compliance with the law, then we will use to protect the public.
Absolutely.
We will be forced into legal remedies. Now, we don't want that, and I'm sure you don't want it.
I'm sure Phil Thompson doesn't want that.
No. And that's part of my reason for saying we'll do it today and go, be prepared, if you like, we're prepared to get a judge in chambers for an emergency. This is so important in terms of protection of the public. Yeah. When he sees that pressure there, get them fucking panicking. Fuck their weekend up for a change, yeah. That's that issue. Then do it.
3 a.m. A man is threatening to commit suicide by jumping from a 5th floor balcony.
Sorry? Where is it? It's just down the road.
Where's London Zoo?
In Regent's Park.
Where's Ulster?
Ireland.
Oh, come in.
Right, mate. All
right, Ian.
So what's been happening then? What's been happening?
It's all buried, haven't we?
Hi, Dylan. No school? No, we could just turn up and down. What's going on?
Where's the Freemasons?
I've been around there like off tonight, Freemasons. Is that the pub or the organisation?
There's no radio here.
9 o'clock or up, mate. 3 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? So have you spoken to someone on the telephone tonight?
Where's my social worker?
I have no idea. Have you actually spoken to someone on the telephone?
Where's Wandsworth?
South London?
Hello? all downstairs. Could we pop into your flat and have a chat? Huh? Could we pop into your flat and have a chat?
Make a sign.
A sign?
What one do you prefer?
Glastonbury.
Glastonbury sign. I don't know that one.
You're a music man.
Hmm?
You like the music, do you?
I like blood.
Do you? You wanted your social worker, didn't you?
Sorry?
You were asking for your social worker.
I want to go back to Ireland.
Do you? Whereabouts in Ireland? Northern or southern?
Yeah, with the Irish.
The Irish. Ulster.
Yeah.
So, who have you spoken to not on the phone? You phoned anybody up?
My social worker.
Anyone else? What did you say to your social worker?
We're going to see the Queen of England in Buckingham Palace.
Right.
Who is your social worker?
Neville Smith.
Neville Smith. And where does he work from? Do you know? Is it the Henry Maudsley ward?
Where's Neville?
He's not here today. Is it from Henry Maudsley ward?
Are you at beef?
Not tonight, anyway.
Want some coke?
You got some?
Yeah, come on, go.
Alright, well, you give us some with it.
Oh, yeah, mate.
Yeah. Let's go to my juvenile delinquent.
Alright.
What's your name? You remember your name now? What? First name?
Charlie. Where's Stamford Hill?
It's a few miles from here.
Where's the National Front?
Do you want us to phone the hospital?
Yeah.
Which ward?
Henry Maudsley.
Henry Maudsley. Here, you got some in the care of St James's ward.
Yeah. Professor
Were you in there?
Professor Tyra.
Yeah. Do you want to go to the hospital?
St Charles's.
So do you want to go to Henry Maudsley?
Hmm?
Do you want to go to the Henry Maudsley?
If you have to, yeah.
Is that what you want?
I don't know what I want.
Are you on medication?
Yeah.
Have you been taking it lately?
Yeah. Paraparadol shuffle.
We're obviously here for a reason.
Yeah, where's Neville Smith?
I don't know.
That's your social worker, is it?
Yeah.
Why don't you come with us and go and see him?
Okay.
Yeah? Best bet,
On the
eh?
Harrow Road, yeah?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Okay, take care of my property, please.
Hold on, Charlie. Make sure you got a key.
No, I've got them.
Didn't take anything with you.
Jackie with you. Can I take my coat?
Yeah.
I will take your coat.
To go, yeah, we'll take it.
It's cold and wet out there.
You put a light on for us, please. Charlie, turn the light on.
Got your key, Charlie?
No,
I keep an eye on him. He's got baseball bats lying around.
Yeah.
We want to come back and get something.
Where are you from, yeah?
Canterbury, mate.
T102.
We'll take him down to Mary's and Paddington.
Do you need that today?
He's quite happy, yeah. Hang on, Charlie. Just keep your hand on the button.
Sure.
Right, yeah. Thanks anyway.
Alright, cheers.
You got your flat keys, haven't you, Charlie? You're in the army?
Yep.
Sorry, duty, Northern Ireland?
Yep. I've got a medal for it.
Have you?
I'm a conscientious objector.
Are you? That must have gone down well in the army.
No.
How long have you been out of the army, Charlie?
Quite a few years. Where's
Yeah.
the old baby?
EC1.
Huh?
EC1.
Where's the second one following?
Near the Old Bailey.
I've been going near the library.
Don't think so. Do you know anyone at this hospital? St Mary's?
No.
No, you don't.
What's sciatica?
It's a nerve, isn't it? It's prescribed medication, I'm not sure he's taking it or not.
Right,
He's
okay.
got AIDS.
I think it's come through, of course it's come through his social worker.
Right, is the social worker coming up?
He's telephoned him, I'm not sure what the situation
Have we found the cure for cancer?
Okay. What's his name?
Because if it turns
Charlie.
your black, what
Charlie.
happens?
Right. And is he happy, really happy with the sleeping tablets?
Well, I don't know, he's just suddenly a conversation he struck up when he walked in.
Oh, right, it's probably because he was acting before.
Mm.
Right. What's happening before? What's happening before?
Was this an AIDS?
An AIDS ribbon, yeah. Do you want to come and sit in this cubicle a minute?
Okay.
Now this is the shading here, you know.
5 minutes to make this diagnosis.
Hello.
Hi.
Phil Saunders. Pleased to meet you.
Dave Carrington.
Hello. Owen Disley. Nice to see you.
Don Page.
Oh,
Pleased to meet you.
Where shall I?
Anyway,
move on. Smile my tenor coat on.
Looking forward to it?
Yes, I am. I really am. And, you know, it's a job which I think will be very exciting and really worth doing. And a job where, you know, I can just learn from you and enjoy working with you. And that's what I enjoy doing jobs I don't know how to do. And, you know, I don't know how to do this one, so I'm really looking for advice and help. And when I've had it, and I might be able to chip in the odd suggestion, you know, from out the backfield.
Yeah. I'm sure you appreciate the post that you hold has had a number of problems in the past, and the politics are very heavy at times, and it's our job to keep them off your back where we can at local level and support you at all times. So. I think it's useful just to reaffirm that to you.
London Docklands seem to be a fairly hot seat, doesn't it?
Well, I don't think you've seen anything.
No, I think
things, if they went wrong in London, went wrong. I don't think we're going to have. You shouldn't enjoy that experience if the word "enjoy" is right.
Well,
I think we are actually.
Yes, but I'm sure. But we are in a life and death service.
Absolutely.
You know, in an emergency service where things have gone wrong by definition.
And we are still exposed to risk.
Oh, of course.
It's still a lottery as to whether you get an ambulance or not.
Absolutely. But you know, we're in the business of managing risk, and you can't always get it right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. It's nice meeting you too.
Yeah, we look forward to working with you.
Okay. Good.
Thanks. Best of luck.
All right. See you soon.
I have the brief, as Don has, to find a solution to this within the central division, providing it doesn't necessarily. I know. Yeah.
No, we are too, because we have asked you over the past 12 months to try to sort out actual standards. We have put forward things to you to try and help, and they've been thrown back at us.
I don't think that's right. I don't accept that.
I can't say that it won't go into other divisions though, because we've got a time bomb waiting to happen in the northwest over the Free and Barnet issues, and also the 8 disciplinaries that are 8 disciplinaries that are, as I understand, are still going ahead at Fulham.
Over what? Refusal to stand by? I mean, if we are trying to contain it, then we're going to have to try to apply the same kind of principles, aren't we, across the divisions, because you can't have people doing the same thing in the northwest and central and being disciplined in one division and not disciplined in the other. I don't want you to encourage you to discipline people in central, but you know what I mean.
Although we did say specifically that we accepted that we had a tabled grievance in central, a formal grievance, which is what I'm taking this to be, in procedure, which we are dealing with. It will be helpful to me if I can say in the morning that you have agreed to sit and review the actuals against safety with Don to see if we can come up with a solution to the genuine problems of health and safety we have in central.
I have agreed to sit with Don and to talk around what's happening now. Yeah, see if we can solve it.
If I put forward a suggestion which I think I could take back and probably sell, is that you do your normal standby like you're doing now on the day shift, from 7 till midnight, 7 in the morning till midnight, and then we build in these 3 areas that we work in principle now. I think I could possibly get that one through.
I mean, if you're putting that on the table to us, which you are, we'll obviously take that back. We have a meeting on Thursday next DJSC. And we'll put the tune. That's the official line. I can't see you getting it done.
Emergency cover will be available to control between the hours of 22 and 0800, provided it is used to meet genuine needs of the community and crew safety is fully taken into account. Crews must be informed as to the reason for mobilisation to these locations between 22 and 0800.
We think, should we not build in some kind of a time limit that they're going to be on these locations?
Yeah.
Same as it is now, 30 minutes.
Well, we've said that.
Shouldn't normally exceed 30 minutes.
We've agreed what we actually went into dispute over. We've got the crews won't go out of a night time between the hours of 10 o'clock at night and 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to stick to that. And I was stunned actually. I was expecting a major row at that meeting because I knew Don was under pressure from his group, and I knew I wasn't going to back off. And I was expecting that meeting we were going to have words, and it didn't happen. And I'm stunned about it.
Hello?
Don.
Hi, thanks for that's all right.
Stuck in bloody appraisal all afternoon.
Thanks for ringing back. I'm fine. Had that meeting this morning. Went on longer than I thought. I've got a draft proposal, which I'll share with you. I'll share it with Russ, and he's happy. What it means really is that from 2200 hours to 0800 hours, you can put a vehicle on standby anywhere within Central Division, provided there is the need for it. Well, I was aiming for a midnight, 0700 midnight.
Yeah.
And
you wouldn't buy extending it?
no, but in actual fact, provided there's a need to turn out crews, you've got 24 hours.
Yeah. Handsome.
And we've got rid of the word standby. It's the temporary area accident emergency cover, which apparently used to be the terminology in the LAS.
I haven't got a problem with that.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're happy?
Good end to the week.
Yeah, you're happy with that?
Yeah, I think we got an amicable compromise.
That's terrific.
Yeah. I think you're better off waiting there now. The police have got in through the back.
Put you down.
Keep me straight.
I'll put you straight in a minute.
Ooh.
Come on the wrong house.
I'll see you in a minute. Oh, you're here at the hospital.
Ambulance service. Hello, ambulance service.
Hello, ambulance service. May I help?
Well, we're just trying to find exactly what's going on there. I mean, we'll be running an ambulance anyway, but we'd just like to know what situation we're going into there, how serious it is. Do we need possibly a helicopter or motorcycle response unit or something? Do you know where the ambulance is to actually go to? We can get... So there's an emergency situation, but we're not quite sure yet.
Okay. And he's conscious at the moment, is he? Right. Right. Can he tell you where he's injured at all? It's his leg. Right. Okay. Keep him comfortable. We'll get some help there as quickly as possible. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh.